Yo, what's up, baby? It's Fordee from CantStopArt. So today we are working on a part 2 of a video on how to turn a 3D print into a beautiful piece of jewelry. If you want to watch part 1, check out in the description on my main channel where I explain how to take a 3D model that you find online and then edit it to suit your purposes. In fact, what I did is took a Pacman ghost that was a full ghost, cut it in half, filled it, added this part so the cord could go through to make this a pendant, right? Super cool, etc. One of the problems with this piece is it's super light, huh? It weighs nothing. If I should have probably waited to tell you, but it weighs nothing. So probably what I'm gonna do is drill into it and I'm gonna inject some Plaster of Paris to give this thing some weight. I think that jewelry feels funny when it's so light, right? So let's give this thing some weight. Then I'm gonna primer it, hit it with some paint, and then add some glitter, right? I'm going to show you all of this stuff in a time lapse. I plan to put some Swarovski crystals in the eyes. This is going to be a blinged out piece, right? So without any other ado, let's jump into this. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, guys. Let's start this project, yo. All right, guys, let's get this party started. You can see the first thing I do is I take the pieces with a drill bit and I drill the bottom of the pieces, the most inconspicuous place. I knock out some of the plastic, and keep in mind these are 3D printed parts that have honeycomb patterns inside. They're not solid. So I move the drill bit side to side, carefully not to break the outer layer, just to make sure that I could put more plaster. I put Plaster of Paris inside of these, and the idea is just to give it some extra weight. You can see I'm using a syringe with a wide tip, and it needs to be a wide tip because this is plaster. Also, keep in mind, I looked at the size of the tip, and I used a drill bit that's almost the size of that tip, right? Obviously, you need to make something very close. I then held them, I made sure that they could be held in that direction so they didn't spill as they dried. And now what you can see me doing is adding ABS slurry. ABS slurry is ABS plastic mixed with acetone, which creates this real thick plastic that is liquidish that you can apply to build up a part, right? I start to sand it, and I do the sides and the part where the cord's gonna go through, and I start to do the bottom and realize the bottom's not ready. But then I say, you know what? We don't really need to do the bottom because it's soft anyway. There's gonna be glitter there. You're not gonna notice it. You can see I just showed you some plastic primer, which is what I hit it with next. After the plastic primer, I hit it with spray paint. I paint one blue, one white, and right now you can see I'm putting on Tack. Tack is a over and over adhesive, meaning you could stick it multiple times. However, I'm using this just so that I can put the glue, let the glue dry, and at that point it's tacky. I can then drop glitter or sprinkle glitter all over the piece, and it should apply fairly evenly. Right now, the glue is dry. When I say glue, it's dry, it's still tacky, huh? It's just not wet anymore. Now I put glitter all over the piece, and I'm only holding it where the cord goes through. So I'm gonna have to do another pass, right? You notice I'm using the papers below to collect all the glitter that falls, so then I could just put it back inside of its container to keep reusing it, because that stuff is not biodegradable, huh? So at this point, I remove the cords, and after I remove the cords, this allows me to add glue to the places that I missed, and a little bit on the front where I could use a touch-up, huh? I re-add the glitter at this point to those places, and I'm going to hit it with varnish again to protect it, because if you don't hit it with varnish afterwards, what happens is that glitter is going to come off, huh? Now you can see I'm putting some super glue inside the eyes to accept the Swarovski crystals. However, I think it would have been better to put a little bit of white glue. The idea then is to add a fast-acting resin. I'm using Ecstasy 3D, it's quite expensive, and a pipette to put it around the eyes so it goes underneath the crystal and on the sides. And this way, there's absolutely no way that those crystals are gonna come loose, huh? Now, there was an art to this. I did it better on the blue one than the silver one, and clearly, an eyedropper and resin is not meant to work that way. But it worked, and I think I figured out the little trick on how to make it work better. And here I'm measuring a cord. I measured the first cord. I thought that wasn't right. I ended up going with 90 centimeters, which is about 3 feet. And after I do that, I do these double knots so they can be hung and adjusted, and bada bing, bada boom. This is it, huh? I really like how they came out. All right, so we're back. A full day of finishing these puppies, yo. Anyway, I'm sure I'm going to do a time-lapse voiceover of what I was doing for each part, but let's get into it. I'm wearing the blue one. Let me show you the silver one. So really, really cool, huh? And probably don't need to spin it that fast. Let's talk about certain things. Number one, here's what we started with, right? And this thing, by the way, I just weighed, is 9.74 grams, right? So under 10 grams. And the finished piece, this particular, I didn't weigh the blue one, I weighed this one, is 27.8, so almost 20 grams heavier with the plaster, and the crystals don't weigh much, neither does the glitter. But anyways, finishing piece, almost 3 times the weight of this, and it feels nicer, right? Like this feels like it could be, it doesn't feel, it's not heavy, huh? It's like 30 grams or a little less than 30 grams. It's not heavy, but it's not this. For sure you need to add weight. So anyways, we'll put that away, and that for sure was a good call to add the plaster. And in the bottom, as you can see, you don't see the holes or anything that I drilled. One of the issues, so you saw I used super glue to set the eyes in place, or at least that was the plan, and probably I should have used white glue or something because I was out of, the super glue was done, and it was causing problems. So, and plus when you put it, it just kind of spread out. I just needed to put a dot of glue so it would hold it while I put the resin around it, right? I used the XTC 3D, and this stuff is not cheap, for these 2 small bottles, like 30 bucks. You don't need to use a lot. It's fast acting. It sets in like 5 minutes. It takes, I think, a day to cure, but overall good. One of the things I don't know if you could see on this particular one, I put too much resin. In fact, on the right eye, you can see it's covered it a little bit. On the left, not so much. For sure, I did a better job on the blue one, not purposefully, but putting less resin would be better because you don't need it to fill the whole bottom of the hole. And I guess that's another thing. I could have put a bunch of resin, used a tweezer to drop it into place, sitting in a pool of resin. I don't know, probably better with the glue idea first. We'll see, because I'm sure I'll make another. What do you guys think? Should I make an orange one? Should I make a red one? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, maybe this silver one could be touched up a little bit. You saw that I spray painted it white. Usually I spray painted the color I'm going to put the glitter on. Why? Just in case that there's some issues. If the color of the piece matches the glitter color, you don't see when there's a little bit less glitter in a certain spot. But in this, you see a certain area that's a little bit white, could touch it up, we'll see. I might hit it with another coat of varnish, even though they're protected at the moment, but just one more coat of varnish, why not, right? Anyway, I really like how they come out. What do you guys think? If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, share the video with your friends, guys. It would mean the world to me. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until next time, I'm out.